Good morning, class. So let's continue with the second chapter. Last class, we did an introduction to decimals and addition and subtraction of decimals. This class, we'll be dealing with multiplication and division of decimals. So let's begin with multiplication of decimal numbers. So basically, there are four types or four situations, okay? And I'll tell you with example how to solve them. So the first situation is multiplication of decimal numbers with 10, 100, 1000, 10,000s, etc. This is a very simple kind of solution you have, okay? To deal with such kind of situation, let's see an example. For example, we have to multiply 17.5 into 10. So the basic rule that you have to follow is MRDL, right? MR means multiplication right and division left. So whenever the decimal will move right when you multiply with tens or multiples of tens according to the number of zeros, that many positions it will move. I'll explain you again. For example, whenever we multiply 17.5 into 10, so it has 1 0, so the decimal will move right once. So the answer will be 175. Okay, but on the other hand, when we divide, that is multiplication right, decimal left. So whenever we divide 17.5 by 10, the decimal will move left. Whenever we multiply, the decimal will move right. So here we are multiplying, so the answer will be 175. Okay, so simply directly you can write the answer as 175 because the decimal over here will move here, right? Now let's take another situation. For example, we have 17.55 into 100. So how many zeros are there? 2 zeros. So how many times the decimal will move? It will move 2 times. So it will move here once and then here. So the answer will be 1755. That is when we multiply 17.55 into 100. Right? Now the third situation, that is 17.5 into 1000. How many zeros are there? 1, 2, 3. So the decimal will move 3 times. So it will move once, twice, and then once. So in these places what will come? Zeros. So the answer will be 17500. Are you clear? Okay. Now let's move to the next type. Now the next type of question will be where the multiplication of decimal numbers with a whole number, right? So the first one will be a decimal number and the second one will be a whole number. For example, let us take the situation wherein 2.7 we have to multiply with 4. So 2.7 is the decimal number and 4 is the whole number, right? So in this you have to basically follow just 2 steps, right? The first step is remove the decimals and multiply. Like you have to just remove the decimal for the time being and then do normal multiplication. For example, over here we have 2.7 into 4. So we'll just directly multiply 27 into 4 and get the answer. So we have multiplied 27 into 4 and we have got the answer as 108. Now the second step will be to place the decimal point by counting the digits after the decimal. So how many digits are there after decimal? Only 1 digit is there. So we will place the decimal. It will move left. From the answer it will move left. Yes, once. So the answer will be 10.8. Right? We'll do more questions in the exercise and you'll get better idea about it. Okay? Now let's move to the next type of questions. So the next type of question is multiplication of decimal numbers with another decimal number. For example, the situation in this situation you have to multiply 7.1 with 2.05, right? So this is a decimal number and the next one is also a decimal number. Now how will you solve this? This also you will have to just repeat the first method, that is this method, the step 1, to remove the decimal and multiply, and the second step is to place the decimal point by counting the digits after decimal, right? So over here only one decimal number was there. Over here 2 decimal numbers are there. So you will add the number of positions which are there after the decimal. For example, here you have 1 decimal number, and then after this over here you have 2. So that the total number of position which will be moved left will be total 3, because 1 plus 2 is equal to 3. So let's do it once. So here, first step, you will simply multiply 71 into 205. So let's multiply 205 into 71. 5, 0, 2, 0, 3, 14, 5, 5, 5, 4, 1, right? So you have got the answer as 1, 4, 5, 5, 5, right? So 71 into 205 is 14,555, right? And how many decimals you will have to move? 1, 2, 3. So if the point is here, it will move thrice and the answer will come here. So the answer will be, so 7.1 into 202.05 will be equal to 14.555. Right? I hope you understood. Okay. Now let's see another example of multiplication of 2 decimal numbers.
Multiply the 2 numbers containing decimals the same way you would if they were whole numbers containing no decimals. For example, to multiply 0.5 and 2.2, first obtain the product of 5 times 22, which is 110. Step 2. Count how many digits follow the decimal points in the 2 decimal numbers you are multiplying. In the case of 0.5 and 2.2, there are a total of 2 digits following the decimal points. Step 3. Position the decimal point in the answer, also known as the product. The product will have as many decimal places as the sum of the decimal places in the 2 original numbers, also called the multiples. First, add up the number of decimal places in the 2 multiples. For instance, there is 1 decimal place in 0.5 and 1 decimal place in 2.2. 1 plus 1 equals 2, so the answer should have 2 decimal places. Step 4. Starting at the right of the product, shift the decimal point to the left the same number of places as the sum of the decimal places in your product. The product, 110, becomes 1.10. Step 5. Eliminate any zeros at the end of the product. 0.5 times 2.2 equals 1.1.
I hope you understood the basic concepts of multiplication. Now let's move to the exercise 2.6. The first question. So in the exercise 2.6, the first question, second part states to multiply 8 with 4.6. So we have to multiply a decimal number with a whole number, right? So as the rule says, firstly we'll multiply these 2 numbers removing the decimal and then find the product. So we have to multiply 46 with 8. 48, 36. So we have got the multiplication as 368. Now we have to place the decimal. So here after the decimal, how many numbers are there? Only 1. So the decimal will move here. So the answer will be 36.8. Similarly, let's do the third question here, which is 2.71 into 5. Okay, so we will firstly multiply and find the product of 271 and 5. 35, 13. So the answer is 1355, right? And then after the decimal, how many numbers are there? 1, 2, right? So from here we'll move the decimal 2 times and we'll get the answer as 13.55. Now let's see two more examples. That is the first question, sixth part, that is 211.02 into 4. So this is a decimal number into a whole number. So let's firstly multiply, removing the decimal, 80448. So the answer will be 84408. Write the multiplication product, and then how many values are there after decimal? 2. So we'll move it 2 times, and the answer will be 844.08. Right? Similarly, in this question, we have 2 into 0.86. So we'll multiply 86 into 2. Right? 12, 17, and then 172. Now we'll put the points after the decimal 2 numbers. So we'll put it here. The answer will be this. Similarly, you can do all the other question of the first part. Now let's move to the second one. The second question is to find the area of a rectangle whose length is 5.7 centimeters and breadth is 3 centimeters. So in the second question, we know that the length of the rectangle is 5.7 centimeters and the breadth of the rectangle is 3 centimeters. So the area of the rectangle will be length into breadth, which will be equal to 5.7 into 3, right? So we have to find the product and then give the answer. So firstly, so let's do it. That is multiply 5.7 and 3, right? So we'll firstly find the product of the number 171, right, centimeter square. So over here there is 1 point, so here we put like this, and the answer will be 17.1 centimeter square. So this is the area of the rectangle. So therefore area of the rectangle is equal to 17.1 centimeter square. Okay. Let's do the third question. These are multiplication of decimal numbers with tens and multiple of 10. Now let's move to the third question, right? So here over here there are some problems where you have to multiply the decimal with the multiples of 10, right? So we have already learned how to deal with this. So whenever we multiply decimal numbers with multiple of 10, we should use a rule of just directly moving the decimals according to the number of zeros to the right. Whenever we divide, we move the decimals to the left, right? So this is a shortcut method, right? So you can directly write the answer. If we use the longer method, yeah, then also we'll get the same answer. For example, let us do this question, that is 0.08 into 10 with the longer method and the shorter method. So here we go. So let's use the shorter method first. So we have 0.08 into 10. So we have to move the decimal once, right? Because there's a 1 0. So the answer will be 0.8, right? So let's use a longer method, right? So I'll show you how it will go. So 0.08 into 10. Firstly, convert this number into fractions. So this can be written as 1 to 8 by 100, because there are two decimal points, there are two numbers after the decimal point. So it can be written like this, into 10. Now solve this problem. So this can be written as like this. You can cancel, and the answer over here you will get it as 8 by 10, and 8 by 10 can be written as 0.8. So this answer and this answer are the same, right? So instead of using the second method, it's always used to use this rule, that is, whenever we multiply a decimal number with 10 or multiples of 10, you have to move the decimal points depending on the number of zeros. You should move it to the right when you're multiplying. You should move it to the left when you're dividing. So let's see the next problem. Let's see the 11th problem, right? So it is 0.9 into 100, and then the 12th problem, that is 0.03 into 1000, right? So 0.9 into 100 can be written as 1 to 90, right? So 0.9, so no once, it will move twice. So the point will come here and the answer will be 90, right? And then over here the answer will be 1, 2, 3. It is what? 3 times, right? So it will be 30. Okay. Similarly, do the other questions of the third part. The fourth question says, a two-wheeler covers a distance of 55.3 kilometers in 1 liter of petrol. How much distance will it cover in 10 liter of petrol? So what is this? Repeated addition. So multiplication of 55.3 into 10. Let's do it. Now in the fourth question, you'll firstly write distance covered using 1 liter of petrol is this much. Therefore, the distance covered using 10 liter of petrol. So what is this? This is a repeated addition. So what you will have to do? You'll have to do multiplication. So we'll multiply 55.3 into 10 because we have to find distance covered using 10 liter of petrol, and this is using 1 liter. So the next one will be directly you can write the answer. Yes, this decimal will move right just once, and so the answer will be 553 kilometers. Okay, because this is also kilometer, right? Now the fifth question is multiplication of two decimal numbers. So let's solve the questions. Now let's see the next question, that is the fifth question. Here we have questions where we have multiplication of two decimal numbers, right? So let's see the first one. It is 2.5 and 2.3. So what will be the first step? We'll directly multiply the numbers removing the decimal. So that will be equal to 75, right? Now let's see this. So we can write 2.5 into 0.3. That will be equal to, we'll see how many numbers are there after the decimal, one place and then the second place. So there are 2. So here we can write, from here the decimal will move twice and the answer will be 0.75. Now let's see the another question. Let us take the 8th part. It says 10.05 into 1.05. So firstly, remove the decimals and do the multiplication part. So we have 1005 into 105, right? Let's do the multiplication. 1005 into 105. 5, then 0, 0, that will be 0, then 0, 0, and 5, 0, 0, 1. Right? So here you have the answer. So we'll write this as, okay. Now the next step will be write the exact thing. That is 10.05 into 1.05 will be equal to 105525. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 places after decimal. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Answer will be this. Okay. Now let's see the ninth part that says 101.01 into 0.01. You have to multiply these two numbers. So here firstly multiply the numbers itself. That is 10. That is 10,101 into 1 itself. That is 10,101. Right? So let's put the decimals. So 101.01 into 0.01. Now let's see how many digits are there after the decimal. 2 plus 2, that is 4. So we'll write the answer here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Here. So the answer will be 1.0101. Okay. Similarly, solve all the other questions of exercise 2.6. Now we'll move to the next topic, that is division of decimal numbers. So now the next topic is division of decimal numbers. Before going ahead, we'll firstly do a quick recap of how to convert a decimal number into a fraction.
How we convert decimals into fractions. Let us consider the decimal number 7.38. To convert 7.38 to its fraction form, we follow the steps given below. Step 1. Rewrite the decimal number without the decimal point. After removing the decimal point, we get the number 738. This will be the numerator of the required fraction. Step 2. The denominator is 1, followed by as many zeros to the right of it as the number of decimal places in the number. As 7.38 has 2 digits after the decimal point, the denominator will be 1 followed by 2 zeros, which is 100. Thus, 7.38 is equal to 738 upon 100. Similarly, for the decimal number 6.3, the numerator of the fraction will be 63 and the denominator will be 10. Thus, 6.3 is equal to 63 upon 10.
So let's move to the next part, that is division of decimal numbers. So in division of decimal numbers, we have different types of questions that you will see. That the first type of and the simplest form of division of decimal numbers will be division of decimal numbers with 10, 100, 1000, that is multiples of 10. So I have already told you that the simple rule that you should follow is multiply right and division left, right? So whenever we multiply 10, the decimal point will move right depending on the number of zeros, and whenever we divide, the point will move left depending on the number of zeros, right? So let me show you in this. Here the answer. So this is the first example, that is 13.5 divided by 10. So the point will, what I have told you, it will move left. So the point will move left and the answer will be 1.35. Right? Now let's see the next question. Here 13.656 divided by 100. 2 zeros are there. So 2 places it will move. So the answer will be left. That is 0.13656. Right? So this is the answer. And the next one, 42 divided by 1000. 13.42 divided by 1000. So it will move 3 times, 3 places. So the answer will be 0.01342. Okay, you understood? 113.42. The decimal point was here, moved here, here, and then here. So we'll write the point here. That is 0.01342. Right? Now let's move to the second type of questions that you'll see. That is division of decimal numbers with a whole number. Right? So whenever you get problems like this, that is in decimal format, you have to firstly convert the decimal number into fractions, right? So I'm telling you the simplest method. There are other methods also, but this is the simplest and the better method that you can use. So we'll write 6.4 as 64 divided by 10, right? And then divided by 2. Okay. Now the next step will be to do normal division that you have seen or learned in how to do. That is, firstly we'll write 64 by 10, then find the inverse of division, and then do the reciprocal, right? And then do the calculations. So we'll cancel, so we can simplify over here. We can cancel 2, and then we can cancel this, and we can write this as 32. So we have 32 divided by 10. Now 32 divided by 10 can directly be written in decimal format. Then the question is decimal, the answer should be also be in decimal format, right? So the answer will come as 3.2. So whenever we divide fractions by 10, then from here it will move this side and the answer will be this. Okay. So the next type of question states division of a whole number by a decimal number. For example, if we take 6 divided by 1 by 2, right? Now in the first format itself, you have to firstly convert this decimal number into fractions. So we'll write it as 6 divided by 12 divided by 10, right? Because there is one place after decimal, so we can write the same as in this format. Similarly, we'll do into 10 by 12, right? Now we can simplify 2, and we'll write this as 10 by 2. Again we can simplify, and the answer will be equal to 5, right? Now the next form of question is division of a decimal number by another decimal number. For example, let's take the question as 3.25 divided by 0.5. Yes, so this is the question, and here we have to find the answer, right? So in this also, firstly you will have to change the decimal number into fractions. So 325 divided by, places after decimal is 2, so we'll write it divided by 100, divided by 5 divided by 10. Yes, so again 325 divided by 100 into 10 by 5. Yes, now we can simplify at this stage. 0, 0, yes, 5, 6 are 30 and 5. So over here the answer is 65 by 10. And how can you write this in decimal format? 6.5, right? So we are dividing a whole number with 10, so we can write it in decimal format like this. Here the point, and it will move to the left, and then the answer will be 6.5. Now let's move to the exercise 2.7. Now let's move to the exercise 2.7. The first question, 6 part, says to divide 14.49 divided by 7. So now which is this case? This is division of a decimal number with a whole number, right? So the first step, what we have learned, to convert this decimal number into a fractional number. So 14, this number can be written as 2 points divided by 100 divided by 7. Next step, we can write this as divided by 100 into 1 by 7, right? And then we can solve this, right? 7 2s are 14, 0, 7. Answer is equal to 207 divided by 100, right? Again, this can be written as 2 points it will move, so it will come as 2.07, right? Now let's take the 7th question of the first part, that is 3.96 divided by 4. Let's do it. That is 396 divided by 100, because there are 2 places after decimal, right? We'll write this as 396 divided by 100 into 1 by 4, right? Do these 2 go? Yes. 96 is divisible by 4, so it will cancel. So the answer will be 9s are, again 9s are. Here is 95 divided by 100. That, okay, you can directly write this as, if the point is here, it will jump twice, and the answer will be 0.99. Right? Let's see the first question 8 part. The question is 0.80 divided by 5. So we can write this directly as 80 by 100. Yes, divided by 5. Next step, 80 by 100 into 1 by 5. Yes. Now in this kind of questions, always remember not to solve the zeros first. You have to try to save this 100 or the 10 which is in the remainder, so that you can directly convert the answer into decimals, because this is divided by 100 or divided by 10, or any multiple of 10 will be required to change it into the answer into a decimal format. So solve these 2 first. Maximum you have to try to solve these. Yeah, so you can solve this as 5, and then you will get the remainder as 6, so you will write it as 6. So you will get the answer as 16 divided by 100, and that can be written as 0.16, right? So maximum, every time you should save directly. For example, you shouldn't solve this 80 by 100 first itself, then you will not be able to solve the answers. You will have to save this 100 and divide it by 5 preferably, and then you will get 16 by 100 and then 0.16. Now the second, third and the fourth question is about division of decimal numbers with multiples of 10. Now let's move to the second question, first part. Here we have division of a decimal number with 10 or multiple of 10s. So here we have 4.8 divided by 10. So as the rule says, the first method is to convert the decimal number into fraction. So this will automatically become 48 by 10 divided by 10. Yes, then 48 by 10. Next step, into 1 by 10. Yes, so here we have 48 divided by 100. Now this can be converted into decimal, and we can write the answer as 0.48, right? In this question we have 0.56 divided by 10. Now this can be written as 56 divided by 100 divided by 10. Yes, because there are 2 points after the decimal, so the decimal will move 2 times, and we'll write it as 56 divided by 100. Next will be 56 divided by 100 into 1 by 10. Yes, normal multiplication. So we'll get the answer as 56 divided by 1000, and the point will move 3 times. So the answer will be 056. Right? Now let's move to the third question. Here we have questions like decimal divided by 100, right? So let's do it. So Firstly, as the rule says, convert the decimal into fractions, right? Only one digit after the decimal, so divide by 10, divided by 100, 236. Second step, divide by 10 into 1 by 100, right? This can be written as 236 divided by 1000, and here we have 2 digits it will move. Answer will be 2.36, right? Now let's do one more question of the third question, that is a 6th part. 98.53 divided by 100, right? So first step, convert it into fractions. 2 places after the decimal, so divide by 100. Same. Then you can write this as into 1 by 100, right? So you have 9853 divided by 4 zeros, so 10,000. So it will move, the decimal point will move 4 times. 1, 2, 3, 4. Answer will be 0.9853. Now the fourth question, fourth part says 128.9 divided by 1000, right? So firstly, change it into fractions. Divide by 10 divided by 1000. Second step will be to make the inverse of division and then do the reciprocal. Answer 1289 divided by 10,000. How many zeros? 4. Decimal will move 4 times and the answer will be 0.1289. Right? Now let's do the fifth part. Fifth part question says 0.5 divided by 1000. Now 0.5 will be written as 5 by 10 divided by 1000. 5 by 10 into 1 by 1000, and that will be equal to 5 by 1000, 10,000. So it will 5, it will 4 times. 1, 2, 3, 4. Answer will be 0.0005. Okay. Now in the fifth question, we have to solve the problems where we have to divide decimal numbers with a whole number or to divide two decimal numbers itself. Now in the fifth question, we have questions where we have a whole number divided by a decimal number or a decimal number divided by a whole number. The first one is this, that is 7, that is the whole number divided by a decimal number. 7 divided by 3.5, we have already seen how to solve this. So let's do it. The very first step, that is converting all the decimal numbers into fractions. That is 7 divided by 35 divided by 10, right? Second step, 7 into 10 by 35, right? We'll simplify. 5 is a 35, 5 2s are, answer will be 2, right? Now the fifth question, seventh part says 76.5 divided by 0.15. First step, convert the decimal into fractions. 7, this can be done like this, divided by 0.15. Sorry, this can also be done 15 divided by 100, right? Second step, divided by 10, inverse of division, multiplication, 100 divided by 15, right? Then solve this. Here it will go with, you can directly put it as 51. So, and solve this also. So you have 51 into 10, answer will be equal to 510. Let's move to the fifth question. 8th part says 37.8 divided by 1 by 4. The first step, convert this into fraction. Yes, only one digit after decimal. So divide by 10, divided by 14 divided by 10. Right? Next step, divided by 10 into 10 by 14. Does it directly go in the table? Yes, it goes, and we can write this as 27. Now this 0 also cancels, and we can say the answer is 27. Let's see one more example. Let's see the fifth question, ninth part. 2.73 divided by 1.3. Convert both the decimals into fraction. 273 divided by 273 divided by 2 places after decimal, so divided by 100, and then 1.3, 1 place after decimal, so it can be written as 13 by 10. Now solve this. 273 divided by 100, inverse of division, reciprocal, 13 and 273, yes, it goes by 21. So, and this also cancels, so we have 21 divided by 10. Answer will be here, divide by 10, so 1 point to the left, 0.1, right? A vehicle covers a distance of 43.2 kilometers in 2.4 liters of petrol. How much distance will it cover in 1 liter of petrol? The sixth question. So let's solve this. The sixth question, distance covered by 2.4 liter of petrol is 43.2 liters. Distance covered, 42.2 kilometers. And distance covered using 1 liter of petrol, simple. You have to do the division. That is 43.2 divided by 2.4. Now let's solve it. That is 43.2 divided by 2.4. We know we have to first convert this into fractions. 0.4 divided by 24 divided by 10. Step will be 432 divided by 10 into 10 by 24. Yes, so we'll solve this at the state. Now we can divide this by 12. 12 2s are 24, and 12 3s are 36, and then 72, that is 6. So we can again solve this. That is 2 divided by 36, that is equal to 1 and 18. So here we have the answer as 18. So how many kilometers it will move? It will move 18 kilometers. So we can write thus, therefore distance that can be traveled using 1 liter of petrol is equal to 18 kilometers. So we have completed the exercise 2.7 and the second chapter. So write all the notes and the solution of the exercise in your notebook. If you have any doubt, you can get back to me. Thank you.